Is Kevin Willard coming back to Maryland? Now, the people that have been all over this are the people from inside Maryland. This is a fantastic site. It's the 24/7 site for Maryland. They have a guy named Jeff Erman who does a fantastic job. Jeff, Jeff. Erman is Ermann. He is one of these guys that's just super well connected, does a fantastic job. A good amount of this information I'm going to be giving to you is from him. I'm not going to give you all of it because he does work very hard, and I don't want to give away all the stuff that he is having his people pay for to be able to read. But overall, I mean, there's stuff out there that's been reported, and so I'm just kind of piecing things together here for you about the Kevin Willard situation. Maryland basketball, as you know, they reached the Sweet 16, ending a terrible drought that Maryland basketball was on, led by Derek Queen, who Kevin Willard was instrumental in being able to bring in. And as we found out, one of the reasons why, based on Derek Queen's press conference answer, is because he pays him the money. Can't argue with that. That is modern day. I loved Kevin Willard's face. He was like, "Oh my gosh, come on, man, come on, say you like Maryland or something. Talk about the school, talk about something you like." No, we found out Derek Queen likes the money, so he's hitting buzzer beaters, and maybe he had an incentive on his contract. Hit a buzzer beater to send the team to the Sweet 16, and we'll double your payout. I don't know, but obviously I'm joking there. But the athletic director Damon Evans from Maryland, he is actually leaving to go to SMU, and it's creating uncertainty with Willard in his negotiations because, in fact, the interim athletic director, I think her name is Sorum, something like that. There is apparently not a great relationship between Willard and her right now. So Willard does want to return. That's being reported by Erman that he does want to return. But his concern isn't so much about making him a highly paid coach. I mean, we heard rumors that he could be a top 10 coach paid in all of college basketball. Seems a little high to me just based off of one season, but he does have a history at Seton Hall. There is another team calling for him right now, so he does have that kind of leverage there. So it makes sense, but more than anything, Kevin Willard, he wants more NIL funding and more revenue share and more resources given to his program. He wants at least $4.5 million in revenue share. He wants more of a focus on NIL funding. He wants a rebranding of the Xfinity Center, and he wants more control over the program, kind of like a CEO, promotion there for it. One of the stories that came out that really highlighted Kevin Willard's frustrations with Maryland was a trip, I believe it was to New York, they took for a game this year or this past year, one of those two. Kevin Willard and his guys, they played a game late at night. Kevin Willard wanted him and his guys to be able to go back to the hotel, rest, leave that next morning. Maryland said, no, you're going to leave from that game and come back right away. To Kevin Willard, that was a little cheap, I think. I don't think he said those words exactly, but it made it sound like he felt like that was a little cheap and would have liked to give his guys some rest in beds rather than, on a plane or bus or however they came back. I assume a bus. It's not that far from Maryland to New York. But still, these are the kind of things that Kevin Willard, not just wanting to get his players paid, but also wanting more respect for the program, wanting more, time to be in the hotel, that kind of stuff, which makes sense, right? I mean, I back Kevin Willard up for that. I'm not going to, dog Maryland for it because I think sometimes you're just trying to save a buck and you think it's a short trip. But, if there's a pattern of this happening, I get where Kevin Willard is coming from. There's a lot of speculation growing right now about the Villanova job. There's a lot of people posting about it, a lot of people rumored about it. We're going to talk about Mick Cronin here in just a second. But really, you're kind of four people that are rumored for that right now are Mick Cronin, Kevin Willard, Richard Pitino, and Porter Moser seem to be the ones that are most connected to this job at this point. But like I said, Maryland is looking. It looks like to the Maryland insiders and those people, it looks like Kevin Willard is going to stay, and I think Kevin Willard will stay. I think that right now negotiations are just tight. Negotiations are just taking a little bit slower because number one, Kevin Willard is still in the NCAA tournament. They're going to the Sweet 16. Number two, you have an AD who's leaving, and you have another AD who Kevin Willard is maybe not as fond of that is taking over. And so Kevin Willard is actually now still in discussions and in negotiations with the AD that is leaving, who is still the current AD, Damon Evans at Maryland. Not sure exactly when he's going to leave yet, but that's kind of the thing. And then also too, why? I mean, excuse me, if you're Kevin Willard, why would you leave this team? Like you're gonna lose Reese, you're gonna lose Miguel, you're almost certainly gonna lose Derek Queen, but really that's it. Like this is a lineup that Kevin Willard between Gillespie and Rodney Rice, and if you can really develop your bench a little bit more, I mean Deshaun Harris Smith is a 5 star sitting on that bench. You know, is he going to finally get the confidence? You know, we saw him score 11 points in that one game, a career high or a season high for him. So maybe he starts getting that confidence back. I mean, if you believe in the pieces that you have at Maryland, Kevin Willard, then you should be wanting to come back in this one. And from every indication, it seems like he does want to come back. He just wants the respect of more investment from the program. And honestly, Maryland can give more investment. The Big Ten is the richest conference in all of college athletics right now. These guys can pay, these colleges can pay the resources needed, pay the revenue sharing, pay all that kind of stuff. It's important. So no announcement yet. I think you're probably going to get something after Maryland leaves the tournament. But as far as I'm concerned, this is just going to keep growing and growing until Maryland loses. If Maryland beats Florida, you just wait. It's going to keep growing and growing and growing, and that might just lead some schools to really be offering, in particular Villanova, offering even more to Kevin Willard possibly. We'll see, but